Hello there YouTube, this is Hyboman here, and as you can tell, I have some new digs. This is going to be a little bit more of a permanent place for me, at least for the next couple years of my life. And so I figured I would take this opportunity and break in the new place with a new toy from a new toy line. So we have here Transformers RID 2015 Warrior Class Grimlock. I picked him up in the first wave along with Strong Arm and Steeljaw to sort of get a feel for what it is like. He's the first one I cracked open because I figured I wanted to get into him first. There's a little bit of worry surrounding this guy, but there's also a lot of hype saying he is the best one in the wave. And I wanted to see how he was first and then crack into the other guys a little bit later. So you can see I have him in his beast mode here. And he's sort of meant to stand like this with his legs bent, resting on his tail. That's how you get the head flat, but you can, and I'm going to cause a lot of people to scream in terror here by bending his knees slash elbows. I'll get back to talking about that in a minute. But he will stand up like this and sort of bend forward a little bit more. So other than his legs, you can move his dino arms a little bit. They're attached to ball joints as far as I can tell, but they're the kind that just sort of form swivel. And then in his head here, you can see he has an opening and closing mouth gimmick. I'm really excited to get my hands on this guy, primarily because I've sort of been aching for a cartoony Grimlock for a while. I wanted to get my hands on the animated one, but given that they're all on the aftermarket online, I kind of didn't want to put in the effort to track one down, because I use the internet for tracking down more, I guess, obscure things, you know, older figures, G1, Beast Wars, things like that. So I ended up picking up the Fall of Cybertron Voyager Grimlock, and I've been warming up to the toy since then. I've had it for a while, and I'm really opposed to how hollow it is. That kind of ruined my first impression of it. But fiddling with him more and more, his joints are really nice, and he's not terribly flimsy, except for, say, the hollowness in the chest. But I figured I'd give it another crack and grab this guy. So that's really about it for his beast mode here. You can see the new Autobot symbol. This is for that whole QR code scanning thing. A lot of people seem to hate it. I don't really care. I think it looks fine. It matches the more cartoony style of these guys. And the more interesting thing to talk about in terms of detailing is his green color. This is a new thing for a dinosaur Grimlock, but it is not a new thing for Grimlock. And that's because the original RID line from back in 2001, I think it was, also had a green deluxe class Grimlock fella. So let me get this guy actually standing because his feet are a little bit weird. And this is the deluxe Grimlock from that line. He is from the build team. And this is really the only homage I could see them doing here. I've seen it discussed a little bit online that this is the connection between them. I came to that realization on my own. But, you know, regardless of that, I think that's sort of what's going on here. We had an RID Grimlock who was green, so we get another RID Grimlock who's green. Which is neat. I like that the designers are paying a little bit of attention to the fact that it's weird that Robots in Disguise has been used now 3 times. Once for the original show, second for that, like, first wave, I guess, of Transformers Prime figures, and now again for the name of the whole toy line and TV show. So they're having some fun with it, and that is fun for me too. The transformation on this guy is neat. It's very simple, which isn't always a bad thing. I've heard a lot of people say, again, like I said before, that this is the best figure, at least of the first wave. And I'm sort of looking forward to Strong Arm and Steeljaw to see what I think about how they compare. But I will say that this transformation is a lot of fun. I like how the tail flips in here and how he has the secondary tail sculpted on the inside. That's the thing that the designers like to do a lot, is just sort of make extra wheels or legs or things to make things a little bit more congruent across there, a little bit more symmetrical. So his legs peg in on the sides here, and they're very sturdy, which is nice. Something else that's kind of cool is that these arms, the little dinosaur arms, actually have to flip around as you're doing this. You have to feed them through while you're plugging this into place. So you can't just put them somewhere then fold this around. It's sort of a, you know, you have to do them at the same time, which is, I like that. I think that's kind of neat. Plug this in, fold this back, leave the head for last. So, I don't know, this transformation tends to be a little bit too simple for my tastes. I say all the time I really enjoy complex transformations, and that still holds true, but what I will say is that this guy is really fun to fiddle with. His transformation is smooth, head reveal, and simple, which means he's a lot of fun to just keep on your desk. He's a great little desk toy to just fiddle with. And as you can see, his robot mode is very, very nice. It's very bulky, it's very well proportioned, so it makes him look like he has some size to him, even though he's the same size as every other figure in the Deluxe class, Warrior class lineup. Getting in closer here, everything you see was visible in Dino mode except for his face, which is detailed in some metallic orange with some nice blue eyes to match the blue eyes on his dinosaur head and the orange of his little crest here, so that's kind of nice. And I do really like that his head can turn. I was worried for whatever reason that his head wouldn't be able to turn, and I'm glad that it can. It is kind of annoying that his waist can't turn, considering that all this is just one solid piece, but these guys are meant to be simple, so I'm not going to complain too much. The only other thing I really have to complain about would be his hands. He has the 5mm holes here, but because his fingers are so long and claw-like, there aren't that many things he can hold, unless you have a really long post to put in there. So I've heard that he can hold the first wave Bumblebee's sword. I'm not going to be getting that because it's a Bumblebee and I've stopped caring about Bumblebee. But, you know, maybe it's just new accessories that can work with him. Maybe, you know, they're intentionally designed that way. I don't know. Again, like before, I'm going to scare some people and bend his ratcheted elbows. They're very soft on the way up. Because of this little gray piece here. They click the way you'd want them to, but it's getting them back down. That's scary, because it's very tight. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I don't have any of those rumored stress marks that make it seem like his elbows are about to just burst apart. Because I have heard that this guy has exploding elbow syndrome. So hopefully that doesn't happen to mine. I don't have the tools available right now to pop the pin out of there and try to fix it by gluing the little ratchet piece in place. So for now I'm just going to hope that I have some really good QC on this and go from there. To finish up, yes, because these folded around before, you can fold these under if you want to give him sort of a quad-armed look, which is cool. It sort of matches how bulky he is. It reminds me of, was his name just Four Arms? One of the original aliens from Ben 10. I don't know, but it's cool. It's a little bit of extra play value that you get from this guy. And again, he's very simple. You know, he has simple joints, his knees don't bend that far, but he's stable with what he does. He looks good and proportionate, and he's fun to just mess around with and do little things with. So I like to keep this guy on my desk, and that's where he is going to stay. So I've got new exciting things coming now that I have a new place. I have a little bit more freedom with my setup here. I might not stay on this table, I might move to some other places, who knows. But here's looking forward to some exciting stuff in the future. Let me know if you liked the way I did this review. I tried to keep it a little bit simpler. I've been going back through some of my old videos, rewatching them, and deciding whether or not it's something that I'd want to watch. And I'm sort of basing things around how one of my last videos, the box opening, the greatest box opening ever in the history of mankind ever, went, because I think that worked out really, really well. I'm really proud of that video, how it turned out, how I paced it, all that stuff. And I want to try to recreate a little bit more of that and a little bit more of what happened in my original videos. Sort of, you know, keep it casual, talk in general terms about what I like about the toys, things like that. you know, to get my channel to take on its own personality. And with that, I will be introducing some new things in the future to my videos to sort of make them more my own. But until then, we have a new toy in a new place. So this has been Hypo Man with Grimlock. I'm signing off. See you later.